Hello everyone, welcome to Euron. In this lecture guys, so we are going to talk about an amazing project and eventually we'll try to convert that particular project in a model context protocol. So we are going to convert that project as a MCP tool and we are going to expose that tool so that your Cloud A or maybe your inspector, MCP inspector or any other MCP tool will be able to access it, and it is going to be a complete full scale your own customized medical diagnosis tool. Now what we are going to do, by the way, so here, so what we will do, this is the project, by the way, yeah, so medical research diagnosis agent, and what we are going to perform inside this one. So obviously this is the website. There is a website called as PubMed, and now this website is responsible for giving you the article. So if I'm going to mention let's suppose a fever, so fever, a fever, if I'm going to search for it, so it is going to give you a relevant article. So wherever it will be able to find out a fever, it is going to give you a relevant article. Now, so based on our symptoms, so maybe a fever, maybe a pain, maybe a joint pain, or maybe a nausea, anything that we are going to mention, so it is going to find out the article from this PubMed, right? Authentic article it is going to find out. Apart from that, so it will even send a request. It will even send a request to a GPT saying that if I have this kind of a problem, then what is your diagnosis or what is your suggestion? So it is going to even ask your OpenAI based on the prompt that you are going to give. And then it will even, with the help of OpenAI, try to match with or try to take a input from this article, and it is even going to do a diagnosis based on the article that we are going to fetch, and combinedly it is going to give you a final report, a final result. This is the project that we are going to build. And finally, so this is again a custom tool that we are going to build, and then we are going to expose this entire tool as a MCP tool, so that from a Cloud A, for example, this is my Cloud A, so from a Cloud A, so I can try to pass a same symptom, and then it is going to run the diagnosis, and it is going to give me even a research that, okay, this is what research says and this is what our diagnosis is. So finally, I will be able to build my own agent over here, my own tool over here, MCP tool, which can be called from anywhere. So in a step-by-step manner, we are going to move into this project. So I'll always make sure that they will give you a complete walkthrough of the code in a step-by-step manner, and then eventually we are going to build this entire things. We are going to integrate this entire things, and then in a later stage, in some other video, we are going to even host it on some cloud platform. That is pretty much possible. If something is working in my local, obviously I will be able to host it. So I'm assuming that all of you are going to enjoy, and the whole intention behind this entire project is to teach you that what is MCP tool, how we can try to create our own custom MCP tool based on the problem statement that is with us, and how MCP tool is going to interact with all the other system like a PubMed we have with the OpenAI GPT we are going to integrate, or maybe another 100 kind of a system, right? So this is what this project is going to teach you at the end of the day. So let's get started. First of all, let me close this Cloud A for now. And yeah, so I'll just try to keep it as it is so that we can try to refer. So here, let's try to open up first of all a VS Code, and in a step-by-step manner, we are going to move in and we are going to create this entire project. Just in a step-by-step manner, guys, we are going to move in. So here inside a VS Code, first of all, go over there and try to create a new folder. So maybe I can go into my D drive, I can go into my code, and here, so I can try to create a folder called as medical diagnosis. Medical diagnosis AI MCP. Okay. So this is the folder I'm going to create, and now open up this particular folder. So we are going to keep all the work inside this particular folder itself so that you all will be able to follow along. Now inside this folder, so first of all, we have to create a tool to take a input. First of all, a tool to send a data to a OpenAI and then run a diagnosis, a tool which will be able to even search on PubMed article, the article which I have shown to you, right? So over here, a tool which will be able to send an article even to an OpenAI, and so that it will be able to even do a research and diagnosis further. So here we can try to create a folder called as tools, and then inside this tool, so maybe I can try to create a first file, init, init, just to manage my packages. So init and then close it. Fine. Now one by one, so let's go ahead and let's try to create a files inside this tool folder itself. So we are going to basically create a file. Let me create it. So the very first file that we are going to create is a symptom, symptom, symptom underscore extractor symptom extractor.py file. So this is my very first file I'm going to create. A second file inside this tool folder I'm going to create is a summarizer, let's suppose summarizer.py file. A third, let me keep it inside. So it's okay, summarizer, and third is diagnosis underscore tools.py I'm going to create. And the fourth one is maybe a PubMed underscore FETCHER PubMed fetcher.py file I'm going to create. So now inside a tool, so these are the 4 Python files that you have to create. Close each and every file, and then one by one we are going to go ahead with each and everything. Yeah. So first of all, we have a file called as symptom extractor, right? So here we can try to create a function. So where I can try to put my symptom, it is going to extract a symptom out of the line that I'm going to pass. So maybe I can try to write that I'm like having a fever kind of a thing. So this is the line if I'm going to pass. So this system or this particular file is supposed to return me this, whatever function I'm going to mention over here. So this is supposed to return me that you have a fever. So something like that it is supposed to return. Okay, so here symptom extractor, it's a very basic regex based function, regular expression based function. So here whatever text you are going to pass, for example, if you are going to pass that I have a fever, right? I have a fever. So it is going to basically find all of these things out of your file, and then it is going to give you a list of it, as simple as that, as you can see. So it's just trying to find these things basically from your text, the text that input that you are giving. And then finally, it is giving you a list of the unique. This is basically I'm using a set over here. So list of the unique symptoms. So it is going to return the entire list. So it's a very basic and simple Python file. Now close this one. Now second one, right? So second one, so we have to basically run the diagnosis. So here is a diagnosis file that we have. So diagnosis tool, and inside that we can try to mention this one. So here I'm trying to use OpenAI, as you can see. So what this one is going to do, so whatever symptom list that I'm able to receive, let's suppose from my previous file, the file that I have created. So let's suppose I have received the symptom list. So I'm going to pass that symptom list into a Git diagnosis, and then I'm going to run a prompt. I'm going to send that prompt to my GPT. Basically, that patient has a symptom, and then whatever symptom that we have, whatever list that we are going to provide, suggest a possible medical diagnosis. You can try to change this entire prompt as per your need. That's completely fine. Maybe you can try to ask something like a different, something more. That's completely fine. So this is the only prompt that I'm going to send to my OpenAI. So here I'm trying to create an object for a OpenAI. So where client.chat.completion.create, and then model wise I'm going to use GPT-4, and message, user message is basically this prompt, and one is the system message, inbuilt one or like default one, and then user message is going to be prompt. So now it is going to run each and everything, and finally I will be able to get a message, and so response I will be able to get, and out of the response, so I'm trying to extract the content. That's it, right? That's it. And here, so I'm trying to use OpenAI API key. So I believe we all know how to create a OpenAI API key. So just go to OpenAI like a website, and then from your profile setting, in a left hand side, you will be able to see an API option. Even in my last project or last to last project, I talked about it. So it's a very simple step, and yeah, so you all will be able to get a OpenAI key basically for yourself. Now here, so I'm trying to use my OpenAI API key, and I'm trying to keep it into a environment file. So let me create a .env file, so that I will be able to keep my key, OpenAI API key over here. Yeah, so I'm just going to keep my OpenAI API key into my .env file. Close. And yeah, so this is going to basically load API key from my environment. So this is a library which I'm trying to import to load something from my environment. So I'm loading OpenAI API key from this environment. As simple as that. As you can see, variable name is OpenAI_API_key. Simple. So diagnosis I will be able to run based on the list of the symptom that I'm able to get from my previous symptom extractor.py file. Okay, now this is done. Now what is next basically, guys? So basically next is, so whatever symptom that we have, right? So whatever symptom that we have, so basically we have to even like fetch each and everything symptom wise from the like a PubMed article, right? So we have to fetch all these things even from the PubMed article. So basically to do that, we can try to write our PubMed fetcher. Now PubMed fetcher is a little bit long, but one of the easiest one you all will be able to find out. Now what this PubMed fetcher is technically trying to do. So I'm trying to use two URL over here. So one URL for searching purposes and one URL for fetching purposes. Now what this URL is going to do, so as you can see, this is a e-search, right? So the highlighted part, basically it's a e-search, and then this is basically a e-fetch. Now what this one will do, so let's suppose I'm going to copy this entire one, and maybe I can try to create one IPYNB file. So test file, basically IPYNB. So this is the test file, and then I'm going to take this entire code into my IPYNB file, and then maybe I can try to show you how to execute it. So Control S and then try to execute it, select my Python environment. Okay, so try to execute it, and let me call that function, this fetch PubMed article function, so which is trying to take two things. One is a maximum result in general, and then query. And then this is something which I'm trying to use. So if my return is going to fail, then give me a mockup basically. So here, right? So here I'm just trying to call this one with a symptom called as fever, let's suppose. So it is going to go, it is going to fetch all the article, as you can see. And as of now, I'm trying to fetch only 3 articles. As you can see my parameter over here. So I'm trying to fetch how many articles? So I'm trying to fetch 3 articles. So if I'm looking for 30 or 300, I will be able to do that. So step by step, let's try to understand. So what this entire piece of code is going to do. So it will go to a PubMed. This is the URL for that. It is going to send your query. So let's suppose if I'm saying fever, so it will try to search all the article related to a fever. And then it is going to give me 3 results. If I'm going to write 30, so it is going to give me 30 results as of now. Okay. So here you will be able to find out down below that it is trying to fetch 3 article ID basically. Now, so article ID once I will be able to fetch. So article ID I will be able to fetch. So here what we are trying to do is, so we are trying to basically get the IDs over here, and then we are going to call this piece of the code. So this piece of a code is going to fetch the actual information from those IDs one by one, one by one, one by one. It is going to fetch it. And then I'm trying to use a simple normal BeautifulSoup to extract a data. I'm trying to use my for loop so that I will be able to extract these information, title, abstract, author, publication date, article URL. So all of these information I will be able to fetch with respect to a fever, with respect to a symptom that I'm going to give. And if there is no article, then I'm trying to mock up some data for a failure cases. I'm just trying to handle a failure cases over here, nothing much, as you can see. Otherwise, it is going to give you this information technically. So this is what this entire fetcher, PubMed fetcher is going to return. So ultimately, I will be able to get the article with respect to my symptom. So let's suppose symptom extractor is going to give me multiple symptoms. So I can try to fetch all of those articles with respect to those symptoms from a PubMed. Now, so my diagnosis is done. My fetcher is done. My symptom extractor is done. Now it's time for a summarizer. So now what summarizer is going to perform? So basically, right? So basically whatever content which I will be able to get from a PubMed. So I'm just like supposed to summarize it, that okay, fine, this is the summary of the entire information. And for that, I'm trying to use a summarizer. So again, whatever information which I'm going to get from a PubMed fetcher, so I'm sending those things again to an OpenAI, again to a GPT. Because we know that GPT is very good with respect to summarizing things, or any LLMs are very good with respect to summarizing things. So again, same piece of a code I'm trying to do over here. So which I have done even with respect to our diagnosis. As you can see, it's not different. But yeah, so what I'm trying to do is, so my prompt is different. So my prompt is different, and my call will be different. Means the place where I'm going to call it, it is going to be different. I'm just going to pass a data inside this one, the data which I will be able to fetch from a PubMed fetcher. Okay, so this is done. So this 4 tool is done. Now, first of all, what I have to do is, so I have to test this entire tool, right? I have to test this entire tool locally with a fast API. So how I will be able to test it? Let's try to understand that particular part. Yeah. So let's try to understand with respect to a fast API. And then I will try to convert this entire tool as a MCP tool. So this is the process. This is the flow which I'm going to follow. So first of all, let's try to test it, so whether each and everything is up and running, each and everything is working or not. Once each and everything is going to work, and then what I will do is I'll just simply try to build a MCP tool out of it. And yeah, so in later stage, let's suppose if I have to deploy this entire solution, right? Deploy this entire solution. So obviously I can try to deploy this entire solution somewhere on a cloud. I can try to expose it as an API, and then my tool is going to just call the fast API at the end of the day. That is also possible, right? That is also possible. So, okay, let's do one thing. So let's try to create a file called as fast API. So fast API underscore app.py file. Fine. So this is the file by which I will be able to test it. I will try to convert each and everything as an API. So now let's try to write down each and everything one by one. So here, the very first part is you have to do an import of fast API. Simple, right? Fast API. And then I'm trying to use a Pydantic. And then what you are supposed to do is you have to import all the tool one by one, the tool that you have created. So what I can do is I can write over here that from tools dot diagnosis tool, then import what? So basically import get diagnosis. Okay, so first import is done from tools dot basically symptom extractor, basically import what? So extract symptom. These are the things that we have written over here, extract symptom. So I'm just trying to go to this file. I'm trying to extract it from my own files that I have created from custom files. So tools dot and then PubMed fetcher and import and what is the name which has been given. So you can try to fetch it. So PubMed fetcher article with the metadata. So here PubMed fetcher article with the metadata. Now from tools, basically tools dot and summarizer import basically what? So import summarize text. So whatever tool that we have created, these 4 tools that we have created, so we are able to fetch all the functions, we are able to call all the function, we are able to import all the functions over here. Now, so we can try to use a fast API, and then we can try to convert everything as a API. So here I can try to write app and then fast API. So this is my fast API object which I am going to create. And then one by one. So I can start calling it basically, right? Now, just to call this one, so maybe I can try to create a class over here. So class basically symptom input, and I'm going to keep it as a base model. So just an abstract class. Description string. Okay, so this is just a abstract class I'm going to create. Let me close this entire things. Okay, now so let's try to create a method which will be able to call this entire thing. So so here def and then gnosc diagnose underscore PATIENT diagnose patient, and then it is going to take a data symptoms input. This is going to take, and then extract symptom it is going to call. So extract symptom and data dot description. So data it is going to consider from here. So this is the reason. So I've created the abstract class over here. SYMPTOMS symptoms. So this is going to extract the symptom. Now, once I will be able to extract a symptom, so I have to send it for a diagnosis. So let's suppose if I'm able to extract a symptom from a symptom extractor, a multiple one, maybe a fever, maybe a joint pain, something like that. So that symptom, I'm going to send it inside the diagnosis one. So that symptoms I'm going to send for the diagnosis. Now, diagnosis, as we all know, Agnosis, diagnosis. So now what diagnosis will do? So we know that diagnosis is going to send the entire data to the chat GPT, right? It is going to send a data to the GPT, and GPT is going to give me the possible medical diagnosis. As simple as that. So once this is going to give me a diagnosis, then parallelly what I will do is, so I'll try to even fetch a data, right? I'll try to fetch a data for a same symptom, right? So whatever symptom that I have, so I'll try to fetch a data even from my PubMed article, right? So one pipeline is going to fetch a information from OpenAI, a diagnosis that is going to run from OpenAI. One is going to perform a diagnosis from a PubMed. So here, what I can do is, so I can try to write like a fetch, and then here, so this PubMed article is going to return me a multiple article. So I can try to write over here that dot and multiple symptoms I could have. So here symptom is nothing but a list, which it is going to give it to me. And here, so yeah, PubMed fetcher. Okay, fine. So I'm going to give it as a query. So this looks fine to me. And then PubMed underscore raw data. So this is going to give me a complete raw data over here. Fetch PubMed article. Let me correct it. Okay, looks fine. Yeah, hyperlinked. Okay, looks fine. Fine. So this is going to get a PubMed raw data. Once I'm able to get a raw data, so I have to send this entire information again to an OpenAI, right? So I have to send this entire data again to an OpenAI so that it will be able to do a summary, because your PubMed data is going to be very, very huge, as you can see over here, right? It's going to be very, very huge. So I'm not looking for like reading out this entire data, this entire information. So what I would like to do is, I would like to get a summary out of it. So maybe I can try to call a summary over here, summary text, and then this PubMed raw, I can try to send it into for a summary. So I'm not going to send the entire data, maybe just to do a fast process, I'm just going to send maybe a first 3000 record. And if it is not going to work, maybe I can try to reduce it. So first 3000 word, I'm going to send it for this one. Now, summary. So just try to save it as a summary over here. So these are the four things, all the four tool I'm going to call, and I'm going to run it with the FastAPI. And then finally, I'm going to build a return. So what this entire FastAPI is supposed to give me as a return. So it should basically return me SYMPTOM symptom, and symptom is nothing but a symptom that we are able to get from the symptom variable. Then it is going to return me a diagnosis. So diagnosis is nothing but a diagnosis that we are getting from OpenAI. And then PubMed summary. So PubMed summary, PubMed SUMMARY, PubMed summary is nothing but a summary that we are able to get again from the OpenAI, right? Summary that we are able to get. So this is something that it is going to return at the end of the day. As simple as that. Fine. So I believe it's making sense to all of us. And this is, so I have to make it as an API, right? So what I can do is I can try to maybe give a root over here. So app.post and then / diagnosis. So this is like a path. This is the URL. So where I will be able to see my entire diagnosis. Okay. So this is my FastAPI. Now let's go ahead and let's try to test this entire API. So whether I'm able to get a result or not, and whether the tool that I have created, all these four tool is working perfectly fine or not. If these tools are not going to work perfectly fine, then obviously I'll have to do, I'll have to go and I'll have to do a modification with respect to that one. I'll do all those modification which is required for this particular tool. But yeah, now I believe everything is ready for me. So what I can do is I can try to run this FastAPI. That will be better. So let me close everything, and I can try to open up a command prompt over here, delete this entire one. Okay. So here I can try to maybe run a FastAI, and then I can try to maybe with the help of Swagger UI, I can try to pass a information. I can try to pass a data, and then I can try to check it. So how to run this entire thing? So I can try to call UV CORN, UVCORN, and then the name of the app. So Fast API app, I can try to mention over here, and then reload, and then I can try to write port is equals to 8080. Port is equal to 8080. Okay. So no such reload, RELOAD. I have made a spelling mistake, LOAD. Okay. It's not a post, it's a port number, right? Okay. So it is giving me error, must be in a format module attribute. Okay, so let me correct this command. So here UVCorn Fast API app, that's completely fine. And here, so I can try to remove this one. I can try to mention that this is basically a app. Okay, now it will work. Yeah. So this is basically a command to run this entire things, and so that I will be able to test it in my Swagger UI. So let's go ahead with the Swagger UI, guys. So my Swagger UI is live at this one, this particular link. Let me execute once again. By mistake, I have closed it. So I can try to go here, and then I can try to do /docs. And here is a Swagger UI that I will be able to get on this URL. Yeah. So Fast API, Swagger UI, I will be able to get it. Now, if I'm going to expand it, so I will be able to see a path called as Diagnoses. Now, this path is same path that I have created. So let me show it to you. So this path is same path that I have created, a diagnosis path. And at this path, I have this function, right? At this path, I have this function. So I can try to pass a data, and then based on the data, so it is going to give me basically, it is going to run all of these things, and then it should give me this as a return if everything is working fine. Otherwise, obviously, it is going to give me a some sort of a error. So here, what we can do is, so we can try to click on try it out, and description is string. So instead of that, I can try to mention that patient has a joint pain and fever. So this is something which I'm going to mention, and then let's try to execute it. Let's see. So whether I'm able to get a correct response or not. So seems like it's executing. Okay, it's taking a lot of time. Okay, fine. So I'm able to get a response, guys, as you can see. And this is something that I was looking for. Now I can go into my code. I can try to see that it's 200. 200 post request means 200 means 200, all is good. We are able to get the response. So everything seems to be up and running. Everything seems to be working. So I'm able to get a symptom. Let's go and cross check over here. So symptom is equals to fever and pain. Now, if you will go and check my input, so I have mentioned that patient has joint pain and fever. So it is able to extract out of this. So it is able to extract basically fever and pain. So how it is able to extract? So it is able to extract with the help of summary extractor. So fever and pain, it is able to extract. I have not mentioned a joint pain over here. You can try to mention as many long list as possible, maybe 1,000, maybe a 5,000. That is completely fine. It is just a regular expression which I am running, so which is going to find out the matching keyword. So whatever like a text that you are going to write, so based on that, it is going to find out the matching keyword. So yeah, it is able to find out that. This is first part is done. Then second part is diagnosis. So as you can see, so it is able to give me a diagnosis. So while I'm an AI, not a doctor, the symptom you mentioned could indicate a variety of condition, like influenza are quite general and could be sign. Okay, so common cold, again, I'm not able to read out all the medical term. It's very difficult for me. Pneumonia, arthritis is, however, these symptoms are quite general and could be a sign of many different conditions. It's important to consider other symptom as well. Okay, so this is basically a diagnosis which I'm able to get from where? So this is a diagnosis which I'm able to get from a diagnosis tool. So where I'm trying to pass all the symptom, as you can see, and then suggest me a possible medical diagnosis. If I'm going to mention that suggest me a possible cure for the same, it will be able to even give you a possible cure. So maybe I can try to run it once again, right? So API has been deployed, and I can try to refresh this entire things once again. Maybe I can try to like execute once again, and then it should even suggest me like a possible cure for that one. Even I can ask, yeah, I can try to change my prompt, and I can say that it suggests me like a daily habit based on this. It is going to give you the daily habit, because it's just a prompt at the end of the day. Just send a prompt, and at the end of the day, it is going to give you everything. Yeah. Okay, so okay, it's changed now, and okay, the symptom of the pain and fever very common. This. Is it suggesting me like a cure, or getting a medical advice in case this medical emergency? It should not be treated lightly. Okay, so where is the pain to suggest the surgery in the acute condition? Okay, so it is suggesting me something, right? That what you should do, what you should go ahead with, that what kind of a treatment. Once diagnosis is made, the treatment can be ranged from antibiotics for an infection, or antipyretics for a fever, pain, relief medication, all these things it is trying to suggest me. So that's completely fine. We are able to get it. Okay. Now, so the another one is basically, so we are trying to send this entire symptom not just to our AI. So we are even trying to send our entire symptom to a PubMed. So PubMed, which is a repository of a medical article. So we are sending this entire symptom even to a PubMed, so that it will be able to fetch an article, authentic one. Basically, let's suppose I'm not the one who believes on AI or something. So that's completely fine. So human has written an article. So I can try to even go and try to search something from those articles. So now this is the summary that we are able to get. How? From the code side. So I think from a code side, it's very much like a easy peasy to understand. So here, fetch a PubMed article with a metadata. So we are able to fetch it. I have shown you even inside my IPNU file. And then we are trying to call summarize text. So we are trying to send all the text to a AI, and then AI is able to summarize it. If you would like to see a raw text, that's completely fine. Just show the raw text. There is no issue at all. But yeah, if you're asking AI to summarize it, it will be even able to summarize it and give you the entire like a report, so that you don't have to go ahead with the article at the end of the day. Fine. Okay. Now, so once that is done, just a minute. Okay. So just a minute, guys. I got some important message. Okay, so once I'm able to get this entire things, and I'm able to test it with the Swagger UI, so I'm able to test it. All these things are giving me a accurate result. You can even go and cross check with the PubMed article, which it is able to like extract. So now what is my next step? So this testing is done. Now my next step is to make it as a MCP tool, so that I will be able to expose it to maybe an inspector, or maybe expose it to a Claude as a tool, so that I don't have to even come over here. So with the help of my Claude desktop itself, I will be able, Anthropic Claude desktop itself, I will be able to test it. That's my like next thing that I have to do. So how I will be able to do that? Let's try to understand that particular part. So let me like terminate this entire server, right? Close it, and leave this fast API. Work for this fast API is done. So basically I'm going to use this 4 tool, as you can see, and this 4 tool, I'm going to expose it basically as a MCP tool. Yeah. So I'm going to expose it as a MCP tool. So here, maybe I can try to create a file called as MCP underscore tools, TOOLS tools.py file. Okay. So here I will be like converting everything into a MCP tool. Now, so first of all, we have to do some sort of a import over here. So from FastMCP import, basically import what? So F capital FAST FastMCP, all caps. Okay. So import all these things. Apart from that, so import all of these tool as well. Import all of this tool as well. So fine, I have already done the import. I'll just copy this 4 lines, so that I will be able to import as it is over here. So now all this import is done. Right, all this import is done. Now I can try to create a separate tool. I can try to create a 4 separate tool, one for doing maybe a diagnosis, one for like extracting the symptom, one for like a fetching the article, and one for like doing a summarizing a text. Or maybe I can try to create a like a series of it in one single tool itself. I can try to bind it. Both is possible, right? Both is possible in the exact same way. So you can try to create as many tools as you want, or maybe you can try to create just one tool out of the multiple tools. So it's just like a function that you are going to write. So here I'm going to write a function that full underscore medical underscore analysis, medical analysis, and then it is going to take basically a symptom SYMP tom underscore text it is going to take, and then it is going to basically like a call extract symptom one by one. So whatever we have called here inside our FastAI app, so extract symptom, get diagnosis, maybe I can try to copy the exact same thing. It's not very different. Okay, so let me make a proper indentation over here. Fine. Okay, so same thing. So extract symptom, then do a diagnosis, then send this entire data to like a extract something from PubMed, then send this entire data to an AI so that it will be able to summarize it. And then finally, it should give me a return. So again, return is going to be same as a fast API. So here I'm not looking for some different return. It's completely fine. So return me all of these things, as simple as that. Okay. So looks like this is ready. This function is ready. I think this function is same function that we have used inside the fast API. Now, so I was like trying to convert everything as a API over there. Instead of that, so what I will do is I'll try to convert this entire things as a tool in this particular place. So not very different, but yeah. So this time I'm converting into a tool. So if underscore name underscore is equal to underscore main file I'm trying to like initialize. So underscore main, do what? So MCP dot run, MCP dot run. But yeah, what is this MCP? I have not created an object of MCP. So let's go ahead and try to create the object of MCP over here. So MCP is nothing but it's a fast MCP. I'm going to call the import that I have done. And then I'm going to say that this is my medical diagnosis, GNOSIS MCP. I have medical diagnosis. I can name it as a CUSTOM custom MCP. Okay. And then I can try to decorate it with MCP dot tool, TOOL tool over here. Now in this way, I will be able to convert and I will be able to expose it as a tool. So last time I was trying to expose it as an API. Now this time I'm just trying to expose it as a MCP tool. Not very different, I would say. So it's almost the same thing that we are trying to perform over here. Okay. So this is great. We are able to do it, but how we will be able to run this entire MCP tool? So if you remember in my previous project, I was using a package called as UV package. And with the help of UV package, I was able to do that. So again, I have to do the exact same thing over here. So I have to convert this entire project with UV. So here I'm inside this one and let me do a dir. So yeah, MCP tool is available over here. Do a CLS and I'll try to convert this entire directory as a UV project basically. So here I can just try to write a UV init initialize and then dot. So initialize this entire folder. And as you can see, by the time I have written this one, so it has basically created some of the additional file over here, like a Python version, git ignore it has created, toml file it has created, which is very much important actually. Right, toml file is very much important for a UV project. So it has created all of these files over here. Then what I'm going to do is, so I'm going to maybe like do a UV add so that I will be able to install all the dependencies. So UV add, and then I'm going to write, even I have written the same thing in my previous project. So you can refer to that, or maybe like I'm writing it once again. So UV add CLI, and then it is going to add all the dependencies. It is going to like add everything. So here, notice that you want to select the workspace folder. No, cut it. Okay. So here, this is all the package dependencies that it is going to install from a UV. It has added it. Now what I can do is, so I have to convert this entire tool into a basically like into as a MCP. I have to expose this entire thing. So for example, I have done these things with the API, right? So UI I was using, I was able to test it. This time I would like to call this MCP tool, the MCP tool that I have created over here with the name full medical analysis. So I would like to call it basically with Cloud desktop, because we know that Cloud desktop or maybe like a MCP inspector. So all such kind of a tool will be able to access any kind of a MCP exposure, or like it will be able to access any kind of a MCP that we have created, and you will just have to call it. You just have to call it, and then it is going to run. So it is going to run the entire backend process. So how I will be able to convert this entire things into a MCP? So here to do that, I am going to just call MCP install. This is for Cloud specifically. This is for Cloud. So MCP install, and then I'm going to call my file name. So MCP tool.py. So MCP tool.py. Yeah. So now this is going to do the installation. This is going to do the installation of my tool into a Cloud. So hit enter over here, guys, and there is no error. So I'm assuming that this tool is now available into a Cloud. It's time to open up a Cloud and test it. So Cloud, I'm going to open up Cloud desktop. So it's already opened, and here, so tool wise, I'm not able to full medical analysis tool. This is my old one. Let me exit. Every time you have to exit it. Yeah, every time you have to exit it. And then that was my old one, by the way. So Cloud, just try to open it up once again. Simple, right? And it is showing me server disconnected for troubleshooting. This open MCP setting. New one, it is able to diagnose. Yeah, it is able to diagnose the new one, because my old one I have terminated it. Fine. Okay. So okay, now so full medical analysis, medical diagnosis, custom MCP. I believe this is what I have written. Yeah, medical diagnosis, custom MCP. So this is the same message which is visible over here. It's simply, so my message was different when I was trying to prepare for this project. Although function name was same, that's completely fine. But yeah, message was different. Now this is the different message, and exact message you must be able to see inside this one over here, right? Now let's try to chat. Let's try to chat with the help of this full medical analysis MCP that I have created. So here I'm going to mention that I have fever and pain. I can mention over here. That's fine. Fever and pain. So this is a chat which I'm going to send, and let's try to send these things to Cloud. And as you can see, it is asking me allow tool from medical license custom MCP local. So yeah, allow for this chat. Fine. So there is an error which I have received. Error executing full license name data is not defined UID. Okay, so maybe I'll have to debug. I'll have to debug this one, and then because it's not calling my tool so far. Name data is not defined. Okay, sorry. I've just copied and pasted this one, right? So it should be basically a symptom text. I have made a mistake. I have just copied and pasted that FastAPI one. Over there, the variable name was data. That's the reason so it was giving me error. So now again, I have to do a MCP install. Let me exit first, file, and then exit. So got the error. And again do the MCP install after saving this one. So MCP install is done, and again Cloud, let's try to open it up. Same app it is able to invoke, and here, so I can try to mention that I have fever and pain. Let's send. Okay, so it is asking for this one, and this time so far no error. Let's see. And it is running my MCP local, as you can see that blink. Yeah, so it is running my MCP local, and again crashed. So type text execution tool full medical analysis. Char map codec can't encode the character position 0. So again, there is a issue, and it seems there is a issue with this PubMed fetcher. So let me fix it, guys. PubMed fetcher. Okay, so basically it's a issue with a PubMed fetcher because it is using some sort of emojis at a print, and it is not able to pass it in my console. So let me remove all those emojis. AI, unnecessarily AI is trying to give me emojis in between while generating a code. So let me remove this one. Okay, I can write a code to avoid it, but yeah, I don't want to do it now, so maybe later. MCP install, and then again close it, exit, and Claude, load it once again, and tool is available, full medical analysis. So let's try to, I have pain. Let's see if there will be an error. We'll fix it, not an issue, because code, so obviously code is going to give you an issue, an error, and it's our responsibility to fix it all the time as a developer. This is what we do day and night. So far it's blinking, means it is trying to do something with my custom MCP, but let's see the output. Again, there is a issue. No. This time there is no issue. UID is fine. Okay, yeah. So bingo, guys. We are able to extract the symptom the way we were able to do it with respect to a FastAPI, and a diagnosis we are able to get based on the symptom provided. So basically we are able to get a diagnosis from a chat GPT. See this long like output it has given me from my own custom MCP. So diagnosis, okay, I have written diagnosis, that's fine, this is just a spelling. Based on the symptom provided, this, getting from the OpenAI, and then PubMed summary, I'm able to get acute this study present the case acute fine. So I think I'm able to get this entire information, guys, the information which I was looking for. So even from an article, PubMed, I'm able to get some summary, and even from here, and this is my custom MCP. Yeah, this is my custom MCP, model context protocol. This is my custom tool which I have created. I'm like, I can try to do anything that I want. So even something which my AI will not be able to do it, or maybe my for example, so this Claude will not be able to call OpenAI directly. I'm able to call it OpenAI. I will be able to call Gemini, anything. I will be able to call the entire world over here, right? That's a beauty of that's a beauty of basically MCP that we are talking about. So finally, we are able to build the entire MCP. And yeah, so we have up and running and a working code, a clean code we have. I'm going to share this entire code inside your dashboard so that all of you will be able to execute it. And let me know about your feedback. So what you feel, whether you are able to build this MCP or not. If you have any kind of a confusion anywhere, just let me know. Yeah, just let me know. I'm here to handle those concerns. I'm here to handle those confusion, and I'll help you out. I'll help you out with each and everything. So with that, guys, thank you so much. See you again in my next project. With that, take care, everyone.